What's up, family?
What's
We
going on,
are
people?
back.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Hey guys, it has been a minute. When was the last time we've been on here?
I think it was February 2021.
Wow, this is the dates guy. He remember all kinds of dates. That's a long time.
How
But
long you
guess
been
what?
married?
Don't start. 10 years, whatever. We are back, guys, and we're so excited to be here.
Check, check, check.
And he's still checking. We on here, so don't worry. We're here for you. What's been going on with us? A lot.
Yes,
Man, let me tell
We're
you.
going to try to do this regularly.
We are.
Try to get back to this on a regular basis.
We are. But it's been a while. We had to work on ourselves. We had a lot of work, guys.
Had some changes going on.
We did. Wait, 2001?
21.
21.
Not one.
21. We had a grandbaby, another grandbaby.
Another grandbaby.
Yes, we got two. Loving every bit of it.
That's right.
Yep, I'm working somewhere else. That was a beginning challenge, but you know what? We got through it.
Yep. And I've been 3.5 years deep into mine. So
Yeah.
we're running things, doing what we got to do.
And we had to get some work done on the relationship. Things were getting a little bumpy and rocky that we couldn't handle on our own, but we found us a nice therapist that really broke that shell with us, which was great. I'm excited. We have now been thumbed down from 20 sessions. Just kidding. To almost none.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
At our own time.
Now we do like tune-ups.
Yes, when we need a tune-up. Like you get your oil changed. Sometimes we just need to get a quick
less than an oil
tune-up.
change. I would say more of a tune-up.
Okay. I
The
get
tune-up
you.
happens a little less than an oil change. Oil
That's
change
true.
is,
That's
I don't know
true.
how much you drive and stuff. We did a little tune-up every once in a while.
Yeah.
Ain't bad. It ain't bad.
Yeah, so we're coming back bigger and stronger. I mean, even stronger within ourselves. We got some great topics.
Yes.
We went over our list. We revamped some things. We got rid of some old school stuff. Because these some new kind of relationships and marriages now, right, babe?
No, I mean, we're not talking about us. We're talking about ourselves. So.
Well, we got some new kind of relationships and marriage things that we're trying to deal with. I got you.
And our goal is to do this, weekly.
Yep.
Give you a new episode weekly. They're quick episodes, about 30 minutes long each. So we want to get in, get out, so that you just have enough time. Figure it like, commutes.
Yeah.
You can listen to it on your way into work or your way back from work. It doesn't take you forever.
And we adding a little piece to it. We're going to ask a question at the end of the podcast to at least stimulate some chats. How we can talk about this and have some conversation.
Exactly.
This is going to be really great. We're excited about that new format that we're going to do. And then once a month, we're going to do a Q&A day where you can ask us all kinds of questions and we'll answer. Maybe. Don't get up all in our business like that. But I'm just saying, we'll have that day. And we're going to have some guests on here. We want to give you the full gamut. We're going to be promoting some other podcasters as well. That's our goal.
And when we grow up, we'll go to video too.
Yeah, when we grow up. Listen to this. When we ain't sitting up here in our robe and my hair up in a bun at the moment.
My hair too.
Oh, gosh, stop it. But we're excited about this. We're excited to be back with you guys. So you want to talk about a couple of the topics, baby, that we're going to discuss?
Sure.
All right, let's do this. So one of the things we wanted to do, and this is all kind of like stemming from our therapy sessions on how we were able to find ourselves, how we were able to build ourselves back up. And so a few of our topics is where therapy works, really and truly does. We are a product of that.
Definitely.
The business of romantic relationships. How relationship is like a business, or is it? That's a great topic. We're going to end that one with a good question. Hopefully you'll jump in there and have some conversations with us about that, because we'll make this a 2-part so that when we come back, we can actually go in and dive into those subjects and talk about it a little more.
Yep, that's it. That's it.
Yeah, and then Don't let social media posts fool you. You know how people put up all the nice and foo-foo and frilly stuff, and for real, they over there fighting and pulling each other's hairs out. That's why JL had no hair. I know that, right? Anyway, so that's one of our topics. I'm
I have
really
hair in my
excited about.
mind.
What?
In my dreams, I have hair.
You know what?
It's
I would love to
flowing.
see you with this hair. Well, I'm really excited about this topic because social media is a big part of everyone's life. It's a
Well,
good way to
it's just a lot
hide,
of people.
huh?
A lot of people. A lot of people. Well, I guess it is everyone.
It
Cause
is
yeah,
TikTok,
because people shut it down or they
Facebook.
don't do it. Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's
come
still a part of your
on.
life if you shut it down.
Yeah, they come back eventually because they miss it. Anyway. You have to listen to hear and respond to me. But we had a good session with our therapist on, if you're speaking while I'm speaking, you're really not listening to what I'm saying. I think that's important. What is your love language and how it works for the marriage? We definitely had to learn that one, right, babe?
Yes, that was
That
key.
was, that was so eye opening for me, because my perception of what a man's supposed to do and what a man's not supposed to do was, sorry, you're wrong. So I learned a lot from that session. I think we had 2 or 3 sessions on that
Yeah,
one,
that was
which
good.
was extremely important for us. We are still a work in progress and will always be. I don't know any marriage that's perfect 100%. What about you, babe?
Nope, not at all.
Not at all.
Everybody's a work in progress.
We're all a work in progress. And if you are that perfect marriage, please hit us up. Come on our podcast. Let's talk about it, right?
That's
I
right.
think this would be great.
That'd be wonderful. We want some
Exactly.
guests.
We do. And if you're interested in it, hit us up on our email address.
Harak, his piece, at gmail.com.
Come on over, drop your information on
We're on the
there.
gram too. Harak, his piece.
Oh, the
Facebook,
gram.
Harak, his
Yes.
piece. We're gonna do some TikTok.
Ooh, TikToks.
Get some YouTube.
We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that TikTok.
And remember, we're not experts.
We are definitely not experts.
We're not experts. We're
We
just two people who are in love and are married and just want to talk about it and just connect, and that's it, and connect with others out there, because we also want to learn from you all too.
exactly.
At the end of the day, like the more that you share with us, topics, ideas, stories, we can also incorporate that into what we talk about, because oftentimes you think you're alone in the situation, but you realize that there are a lot of people dealing with the same issues that you are.
Absolutely.
And they vary, even and the best part about it is that we get real. We talk about topics that are about us, and we become an open book, and we share, what we dealt with as we're going through it, because maybe, just maybe, somebody else is dealing with the same thing, and they're like, wow, now I can figure out how to deal with that, or at least just talk about it, because that's the key, and then we find different things about each other in that same time. So this is great.
And the other part was when we started our journey, we want people to know that the journey was not easy. It started off rocky and bumpy. And take a listen to our podcast before. We did about 4 of them. The first
4
one,
episodes, yeah.
we were divorced before we were married, or it started before. Come on, listen
Ended
to
before we started.
There you go. That was a good one because that was so true. And so take a listen to those, go back, review some of them. And like Jay said, follow us on our journey. We're real people. Talk about real shit.
That's right.
It's and the reality of it all. I think the last time we were on here, by that time I had lost my mom. That was a big, big bone of contention for us because I didn't know how to deal with it. And you know what? Jay was there. He has been my rock, and I appreciate him for that. We had, like we said, a new grandbaby come along, and
it was during the pandemic.
Oh man, can we talk about the pandemic? We want to hear those stories of those who were at home 24/7 with their spouses. How did that work? Are you still married? Hit us up on our podcast.
And that's where it all started. Was like,
exactly,
the goal was, when we started this, it was connected to the pandemic. Because we knew we were going to be at home. We figured out okay, let's take some time. And I guess part of it was I wasn't as much as home as I thought I would be,
Ex-
because I didn't really get to stop. My job kept me going while Monica's job had her working remotely. So I was going in, and I think there was a toll that was taken
It
on us,
was.
dealing with that, not sure, being scared. And then when, my mother in law passed, God rest her soul, like that was another toll. And then you're scared because then my aunt passed. And then, we lost some other people and friends, and,
Oh
people
yeah.
get sick. And, knock on wood, we didn't have COVID during that time, but more recently, I got COVID for the first time, and that scared the heck out of me. Um, even though we're fully vaccinated, but it still scared me because I had never got it, even though I was in it the whole time. So I think that also changed our timeline, and now we're like, okay, we're going to actually put this on our schedule, to make sure that we do this because it's important. And the feedback that we got from just a few episodes that we did,
Hmm.
was great, and people liked it. So it was like, you know what, we need to do more because, and at the end of the day, it's a, I remember us telling our therapist about it. He said, it's another form of therapy
It is.
because we get to share and talk about it, and pull out stuff, even if it's stuff that we've gone through. Like it's kind of like looking at a checklist, your to do
Hmm.
list,
Yeah.
and like I got a program that the to do list, when I'm completing a task, it'll move it to the bottom, and it crosses out at the top, and then it moves to another section that says completed. And at first, I was like, I wonder why I said that, but then you know what? It feels good to look at that section that says completed. And now because my to-do list is so long, I have to scroll down to that section to see completed. But it's nice to see completed. And you think about when we're able to talk about topics that we've dealt with,
Hmm.
now they're completed. So it's no longer like they're not, something that we are worried about anymore because we've dealt with it.
And
So
when I want to go back to when Jake caught COVID, I really feel like if we had not had our therapy session, I would not have been able to deal with, because Jay did have a little bit of a breakdown, and I understood that it took a toll on him. I would not have been able to handle the breakdown. But I was able to say, it's okay, I'm here. We're going to get through this. And so, like I said, therapy definitely works. We highly, highly suggest it. Check your jobs. They have those EAP programs where you could get free therapy sessions. Check them out. Go to your human resources department, ask about them. They're definitely there. They're definitely worth it. You get, I think, six a
six,
year
no,
or
six each
six each, and then you get a
per health calendar year, I guess, or whatever
yeah.
your
But I
your
mean,
health
and it could be
situation.
different for others. We
Yeah.
don't know, but I know it has helped us out immensely.
And it's for
Um,
you and your family. So
yes,
it's not just the employee, the employee's spouse, the employee's
exactly.
kids,
So if you
stuff like
have
that.
it,
Yeah.
check it out, look for it, find it, especially if you're having, issues in the marriage, the relationship,
Or just for
realizing,
yourself.
yeah,
It
that
could
too.
also be, at the end of the day, sometimes you go to therapy for yourself, which ends up being for your marriage. Like because you have to pour into you too.
Yeah,
And figure out, and some of it is also like, how do I, like, recognizing where you need support at. So, if something that, let's say Monica says something that triggers me, then I need to know how to deal with that. So I need tools to work through that, or vice versa. I trigger her, so she needs tools on that, to know, like, okay, so when Jason says this, I can do this or whatever, so like those things are helpful to recognize in yourself because we all have triggers
yeah,
for
that's
different things,
true.
and those triggers could come out at work, those triggers come out at home, like all of those. So you just want to be mindful of those triggers.
Yeah.
Um,
And then we want to talk about the six different types of
Intimacy.
intimacy. I think that's extremely important. And intimacy is just not about having sex. It's how we connect to one another and those different types of ways that we could connect in an intimate setting.
Yep.
And then our 12. So we had a little bit of discussion on this a little bit, but we'll dive into it more. 12 affirmations you can say to your spouse. What affirmations work for your spouse? Now, it actually said 12 affirmations you can say to your spouse. No, 12 affirmations you can
I think to say.
say to your spouse.
Yes.
And I say you can say because different affirmations may not work for everyone. That's what I thought, And the list of affirmations they had, I know for a fact off the bat, two of them didn't work. Wouldn't I could care less about. But your partner might need it. But it's a good topic. I'm excited about getting into that one as well. And then I also thought communication is key. That's one thing that was at the top of our list in our therapy session. We have to do more. We have to do better in communicating with each other. I mean, that has gotten
Or
better.
learn how to communicate.
Yeah.
One of the leadership cohorts I was in, the topic was communication, and one of the things that the facilitator said was, we are taught languages, we're taught grammar, we're taught, a lot of things, but we've never been taught how to communicate with each other. We even go to things where they talk about how to listen with intent and stuff like that. But no one teaches you how to communicate with each other because it's different. What I say to my wife is different than what I say to a colleague. It's different than what I say to a stranger on the street. It's different than what I say to the cashier at the register. It's different, like the way that we say it, and understanding that there are different ways to communicate, and there's different forms of communication with everybody. So I think that, and when he said that, I thought I was like, you know what, that is so true. Like whoever teaches you truly how to communicate, we learn how to speak, we learn languages, we learn culturally different things, but do we learn how to truly effectively communicate with others in that way?
Yeah, that's a great. Well, we know that that communication is the key to everything we do, whether it be work, school, business, relationships, marriage, family, friends. Communication is key. So we're going to definitely have that topic
Another
on
topic
the
we'll
list.
talk about is date nights. It's important to have date nights, but also date nights are not the only thing.
Mhm.
You can't just have a date night and say, "Oh, our marriage is great because we had a date night." No, there are other things that are connected to your relationship. Some of the little things mean even more than just going on a date night, because date night can become mundane.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we could be like, "Oh, I took you out on a date. Okay, we went to the same place that we go to the same time. We ordered the same food. There's a couple of restaurants. You think about it, like I go to restaurants and we go in there with the intent to try something different. And what happens?
We order the same thing.
Why? Because we know it and we feel comfortable with it and we stuck there. And we go there. And yes, we enjoy it, but at some point it becomes a part of the routine. It becomes the everyday. And
Hmm.
it no longer is that special, because we just do it all the time.
Yeah.
So, um we don't want to do just that. So we want to use different things. Looking at how we looking at marriage as, you know, a benefit. I think I said the other thing I was thinking about the other day, when we were in New Orleans, and I forgot we were in that cafe, and we were watching this other couple, and I forgot what the husband did, and we both like mentioned the comment of it. It wasn't anything bad, but whatever it was just something that I said. You know what? I think, you know 7 8 years ago, I may have done that same thing, but now I've honed my craft as a husband,
Mm.
and I know what to do now. And I remember you looking at me like, "Oh, you honed your craft." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, I look at, you know, being a husband, being a wife, being married is like, it's a position. It's a status role. It is a place that I have to, and you have to learn. Just like your job, you're not great on the first day, but
Mm.
your last day is probably your better day. Because by that point you've got it all down pat. It's like teaching. you've taught before. When
Right.
you taught, your first day teaching was not your best teaching. You know,
I don't know. I think it was.
no. As you got into it, you got even better at it. The next day, the next year class, the following year class. By the time you in there teaching 5 years straight, or 10 years, or 20 years, you got it down pat. Like you know it. But that first day, you're nervous. You're not fully yourself. And it's the same thing in marriage. Like you're not fully into it yet because you just don't know. Like you don't know what you don't know.
But you have to remember, I was married before.
That doesn't
So
mean you weren't married to me before.
I know, but you let me finish. I no, I wasn't married with you before, but I have had that experience. So I have somewhat of a foundation of what a marriage is supposed to be like.
I'm gonna challenge that because then I'll say like when you go to work, what you did at your old job, I've been leading for 20 plus years. Different leading now because I'm in a different place. So I mean, like,
Yeah, but
yes,
you
I have
weren't never in
experience as a leader, but I can bring some of those things in, but I can't still bring everything over because it's a new place. It's a new person. So those experiences that you had before, they're valid, but then you also talk about we don't want to bring in some of the old stuff, right?
Yeah, but yeah, I get you. But I'm saying I still have that foundation of what a marriage should be about. Like trust, like honesty, like commitment, like, you know, working as a team. I might not have expressed or did it, but I know that that's what
But
it's.
that's the point. No, I think we all have like I had those in my head. Those are not like I know what a marriage supposed to be, but actually doing it, it's kind of like being in an emergency. Like we can all say, in an emergency, I'm gonna be the person that gets everybody out. I'm gonna save them first, and I'm gonna be the level head. In an emergency, I may be like in Seinfeld where George ran out the door and pushed down the kids first. Like because he
Well,
got
I think
scared.
this
Like
is a
so.
great topic. We definitely want to get back to that one because that's going to spark even more. Because again, I kind of beg to differ on that one. So definitely a good topic to talk about. Any other topics we want to throw in there? We also wanted to say again, we're going to end each podcast with asking you, our audience, a question. I think that's going to be important to keep everyone engaged, keep us engaged, and don't get all personal up in our business now. I mean, I don't want you
I'm
ask.
open book. Ask me anything.
Oh my goodness,
Whatever
yeah,
you want to ask.
he say that now, and then when you ask him,
I'm gonna
he'll
tell it
change
all.
it.
I'm gonna tell it all.
Oh my God,
Um,
goodness.
Steps to working through judgments about your spouse.
Ooh, that's a great one, babe. I
Yeah.
like that. That's a good one.
Talk about we talk about love language. So it
Mhm.
could come in quality time, acts of service, gifts, physical touch, words of affirmation,
Oh, and
different than
what about
yours.
that account one? I
Oh
think that
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that
What was that one? That was
Oh, that one was a good one. I think we're gonna need an
yeah.
hour for that one.
Understand the love account principle.
So that's your homework. Look up what you think the love account principle is, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's
That's a
good.
really great one.
Things how to stay in love, better relationships. Just thinking about all those different things that connect, and what you do. And then questions to ask, your spouse, things to talk about. One night we did a whole, we were just sitting at home and we were like, we want to do something. And we did the date night and we had these cards. And it was cool because we were trying to go through it. And of course, because like some of them were like, nah, we're not gonna do that. Nah, we're not gonna do that. Then we found one that we liked, which was pretty cool, which was the taste test.
Yeah, that was fun. I had a
And
lot of fun.
and it was
It was
cool
so
because
cool and
so what
interesting.
we did was we went to the supermarket, went to the store, um, and we bought the store brand and a name brand of the same item. So say crackers, so you'd buy the name brand crackers and you buy the store brand crackers, same flavor and everything. And then we would like almost do like a blindfolded taste test.
Mhm.
And so we each had 3 items. I had 4. 'Cause I'm a little extra.
Yes,
Um,
always.
so we did 3 different items, and you didn't know, and we had to guess which one was the store brand, which one was the national brand.
And that's a date night thing. Look at that. We didn't even have to go out the house and
Well, we went out to
I
buy
mean we
stuff,
did the
but you
bought the
could, yeah.
stuff. We had the stuff in the
But
house
the
too.
good stuff was like it wasn't expensive.
Exactly.
We did get to eat
We spent
as
time with
well,
each other in the
spent time with each
house.
other, and it was fun. And we actually found uh items that we would have never. There were some things that I would have never purchased the store brand of if I had the choice. But we realized that we liked the store brand more
Better
than
than
the
the
other.
other
You know,
ones.
for some things you could
Not
tell the difference.
everything. Yeah.
But it was just very interesting, and just like I said, it was fun.
And I believe this was the intimacy part for
Oh
us, a
yeah,
good
it was
intimate
good.
part for us.
And I enjoyed it very much.
I
Like,
did too.
and it was like I said, doing things like that is something that we can do. We could do together.
Hmm.
We don't have to, really take a lot out of it.
Put a lot of effort
No,
into it
and
and
it's just,
everything.
and the best part, even if you have kids, that's something you can do
Oh,
together. You like so like
together.
there's some, and that's the other thing is like we don't want to be, even though we're empty nesters.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
but we still want to incorporate some things that will work, because I know sometimes we'll talk to people and they're like, man, yeah, we'd love to do that, but we got kids.
Yeah.
So we remember that too when we say stuff, because we don't want to leave people out as well.
And we want to make sure we're talking about self-care for ourselves. We want to also put that into the podcast about traveling, taking time for ourselves, quiet times, lazy Sundays. We don't
Oh,
always have to go out,
our
and we
once
could
a month weekends.
our once a month, schedule it, put it on the calendar, block it
Once a
out
month, we
once a
don't
month.
we don't do anything related to work,
Nothing.
and work is extension of a lot of things. So work could be the what we do with work, could be parties connected to work, colleagues or something like that, or it could also be like obligations that we have, with our other groups that we're a part of. So we want to keep that completely away during that weekend, because it's just
Starting
about
on
us.
Friday, ending on Sunday night.
Yep,
Nothing. It's just us. And we actually sat down and scheduled it.
scheduled it. Yeah,
So we want to talk about that and how you can incorporate that into your life. And yes, it can be done because you will put forth effort to do it.
that's right.
Because if you want this marriage to continue on, we got to put forth effort.
But the goal is just to give you information that's just going to help you in the long run,
Exactly.
and help us.
Feed off of us. That's what we want. And we
'Cause we
want to
want to
feed
feed off
off
of
of you
you.
guys.
Yep.
Look at that. All right, so we're going to end this with a question that we're going to put out there to you guys. You can have this question between you and your spouse, your significant other, and then bring it back however you want to do it. Let's do it. So we're going to end it with this. What would you like for Jay and I to talk about during our podcast? So any topics that you didn't hear tonight that you want to hear from us, that you want us to talk about, throw it our way. I think we're ready.
Yeah, because the goal is like we're going to be ever evolving. So as we do this more, our algorithm is going to change. We're going to be looking up more things, more topics, and then life happens.
Exactly.
So as we're lifing lifes, and we're lifing, and we're doing all this stuff, so we'll have other topics that'll come up. Some things will come because it just happened, and we're there. So that's another piece. Like the New Orleans story, is because it's real and it just happened.
Right.
So all these different pieces will come into play as we are, going through the podcast. So we'll evolve, and our podcast will evolve over time.
And we want to just give a shout out and, kind of put out there, Hands Up, Don't Shoot podcast by Ashley France Howell. Great podcast. If you get a chance, go ahead and look it up in Spotify. We'll also, we're going to shout out some other Black owned um, organizations, podcasts, because we want to uplift each other. We want to uplift everyone. And I think this is a good part of us sharing our love journey. And we're glad you're here with us. We're back. We're ready to do this. And I love you, babe.
I love you too, Mama.
All right, guys. We're going to say peace out. Bye now.